अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आपने कई पॉइंट्स रेज किए, दे आर वेरी रेलेवेंट और पर्टिनेंट जो है, दे आर ट्रू. I can't recall everyone that how I can respond. I will need another hour. सबके जवाब ये करें, क्योंकि मैं from my own experience जो उसको कह रहा हूँ कि many things what you have said really is nothing new. जैसे हाउसिंग के बारे में जो कहा, एंड हाउसिंग यहाँ पर हमने एक तंजीम शुरू की थी 2004 से पहले, 911 के बाद, क्योंकि मैं डाउनटाउन में काम करता था. तो आई यूज्ड टू सी होमलेस पीपल ईटिंग फ्रॉम गार्बेज कैन, स्लीपिंग ऑन द साइडवॉक इन द कोल्ड फ्रीजिंग वेदर. उसमें से एक दो आदमी का उस वक्त इंतकाल भी हो गया था, फ्रोजन टू डेथ. तो मैंने कहा एक इंसानियत की नज़र से हम देखें, एक मुसलमान की नज़र से देखें, हाउ कैन वी टॉलरेट people living in on sidewalk and freezing and eating from garbage cans.
और ये टोरंटो की बात है.
टोरंटो की बात है.
और ये दुनिया को तो ये दिखाया जाता है कि मिस वर्ल्ड का मुकाबला हो रहा है और पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है, लेकिन ये जो मतलब
ये टोरंटो में
ज़मीनी हक़ाइक़ हैं, ये कहीं.
And right now the homeless population is very high, has skyrocketed. यहाँ पर हम लोग पिछले from 2003 onwards we are working on with homeless people. एक मैंने ये भी उन्हें कायम की थी कि भाई हमें एक हमारी फ़र्ज़ होती है कि मुसलमान के इस्लामिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, यानी एक इंसानियत के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, कि भाई वी कैन नॉट स्टे इन हंगरी. रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की एक हदीस है कि दैट पर्सन इज़ नॉट अमंग अस, वो हमारे में से नहीं, जिसके पड़ोसी भूखे मरे और उसके पास शेल्टर ना हो. तो हमारी रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने ये नहीं कहा कि मुसलमान पड़ोसी, एनीबॉडी. So this becomes this is a big growing problem in the city. We have been trying to establish a shelter. That why we cannot that they don't just come for bed and breakfast जैसे यहाँ shelters देते हैं. उसको society में put them back in. Why they are out in the street.
उस पे भी एक मेरा पेपर है कि वो इसी में वो कहते हैं जी, वो जो गवर्नमेंट के शेल्टर हैं वो तो बाज़ औक़ात कुछ लोगों के लिए वो काबिल कबूल भी नहीं होते.
नहीं, because there are a number of problems there too. तो हम लोग अभी कोशिश कर, we are trying to raise fund to have that shelter, but we will suffer some setback. We are a registered charity. I'm not trying to promote the organization. I won't even mention the name. But we are feeding monthly to the homeless people. हमने शुरू किया था. आज अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह कई दूसरी मुसलमान तंजीम यहाँ टोरंटो GTA में वो भी फीडिंग कर रही है. But before that nobody was, only churches were going to feed the homeless. तो ये जो हैं, and we are also giving now to the food to the refugee center because a lot of refugees are coming in. वो ये homeless shelter में रह रहे हैं. I have had meeting with Mayor John Tory earlier this year on this subject. I said I was in Salt Lake City for the World Parliament of Religion in 2015, and I participated in two workshops that I heard. One was in Salt Lake City itself, how they have reduced homeless population by almost 70%. Now, ये जो पहले हमने बात की थी इंटरव्यू में, क्वेश्चन में, कि भाई we are communities, we are not one community. Salt Lake City जो है it's a one unique city.
आपने कलमा पढ़ा तो मतलब आपने वो नहीं छोड़ा जो आप थे पहले. कलमे का असर वो नहीं लिया जो यानी लेना था. आपके ऊपर वो वतनियत गालब रही.
हाँ, नहीं,
आपके ऊपर वो पहली चीजें गालब.
No, not that from that point of view. कि भाई Salt Lake City is a unique city in which the main religion is Mormons. So it's a one community. So it was easy for them to be mobilized and pool their resources. Yeah, Toronto and rest of Canada में यही है कि भाई whenever you talk about establishing anything for homeless people, what people will say, hey, there are NIMBYs as they are called, not in my backyard. Opposition from neighbors coming, no, we don't want them in our street. So I asked the question in that forum, how come you managed to reduce homelessness by such a big margin? And they said what they had done, they bought some of the, they built some of the 2-3 stories जैसे आपने कहा ना, और जो होटल मोटेल जो आबाद थी उसको ये कर दिया. And that's how they put all these homeless people. Still there is a 30% there was a problem, as I saw it myself, they were homeless. So वो जो हैं, they have been able to mobilize them and pool their resources, and said there were fewer NIMBYs. People were not objecting, they saw it as a humanitarian gesture from the Mormons' faith point of view. And that was one. In Colorado, there was another town that also reduced homelessness in a way. So in a smaller community, it's easy, but in a city like Toronto, it is not easy. Like Winnipeg has the biggest number in Canada of homeless people.
No, but once you referred that only Muslims have 5 million in number.
Yeah.
500,000.
500,000 in GTA.
Yeah.
But we have, you see, there are Muslims in homeless shelters. In 2003, when we first went to feed homeless people on Sherbourne Street, Maxwell Megan Center, there were 375 Muslims in that shelter. This is going back that long. Yeah. So there are Muslims in poverty, as I mentioned in my speech.
And
so we are lagging behind because most of our zakat money can be pulled together. Most of us pay zakat, I know many, and we usually send it back home. True, our relatives deserve what the
No, but once people are dying here in your neighborhood,
your responsibility is normal.
How can you send and show them that?
Well, this is what
it's show off, or it's real charity what you are sending to,
yeah.
to your community?
Well, this is the problem with our community, that your neighbors are hungry, and how can you send money outside?
Yeah.
Even outside the city, how can you send? कि भाई पहले हमारा हक होता है पड़ोसी का. So this is a thing that we are working, but it's still far off. दूसरी बात जो आपने छेड़ी थी, I can go on talking more about the homeless problem, but in way of time, जो बात छेड़ी थी कि भाई people who are suffering from illnesses.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, I have witnessed the need for home care. मेरी वालदा भी यहाँ पर थी bed bound for 2 years, and home care person used to come and clean her up, do some of the work. A personal support worker, a nurse used to come and look after. But before that, another friend of mine who was a chartered accountant, and his mother suffered a stroke. So she couldn't move, and both husband and wife now needed to adjust their schedule to look after her. They were looking for a personal support worker. So we have Muslim personal support worker, very few. But this is now growing problem in the city, that our aging population. I sit at one of the Toronto's senior strategy planning table at City Hall for the last 3 years. And in Toronto, there are more seniors than children. Our Muslim population is aging because I know, as I have been here now in my 50th year, many of us who have seen back in the 60s, they have passed away, they have left this world. And then many have become seniors. My office colleague, there were many in my company who are retired, many Muslims. Some, I know a few of them died in nursing homes or retirement homes. So there are people, and we urgently need senior home, Muslim nursing home. I'm working on this, but our people have not paid attention to this. तो ये एक बात मैंने सिर्फ मुख्तसर जिक्र कर दी. There have been efforts made in the past, going back to 20 years or more. People have not responded, so they return the money back to them. लेकिन अब जो realize कर रहे हैं लोग कि भाई people are suffering from Alzheimer, dementia, they cannot be left home alone, parents or seniors, and how we can look after them. So there is an urgent need. ये crisis level पर पहुंच गई है. And it is something that we need to do something. I'm just
ये वो मौका है जब मुसलमान इस पे यानी
तवज्जो देते हैं. Right. So this is the other point you raised about students. यहाँ पर मैं जब आया था उस वक्त only postgraduate students used to come to Canada back in the 50s and 60s. I came as an undergrad in my case, but there were very few. But then in the 80s and so on, and the universities and colleges now openly advertising because they don't have enough enrollment. And so they are attracting foreign students. यहाँ पर Jewish community ने तो एक अपना एक campus पर हिलाल हाउस कायम किया हुआ है that they can go. मुसलमानों के पास ऐसी कोई सेंटर नहीं है. I've been involved with Muslim Student Association from the time I came US and Canada में. US maybe even we bought a house in Michigan, Ann Arbor, and that has not come. There's another story, I would not go into that. There was a money promise one time by one Saudi person whose student came and he said, I will help buy a building. But the things was not materialized because we went with the wrong organization. So this is something, but what some of our parents are doing, their children going to universities, Canadian born and educated. Then in smaller town, it is cheaper to buy a house and for 4 years and rather than paying a rent. Yeah. I know one of my relatives do that, my son-in-law's cousin, uncle, his son is Windsor, and he said, well, for 4 years he will be here, so better to buy a house, it will be cheaper than paying the rent in the dorm or anywhere. Individually, but at community level in Toronto, property value is so high that it may not be possible, but it is something that our temporary our students need it, because a lot of foreign students are coming in. Even high school and yes, our schools, some of them are empty. As I said, there are more seniors than children. I was a trustee for TDSB and I've been working with school board for many years, and there are some schools that have closed down and will be closing because of lack of enrollment. Even in my own neighborhood where my children went to junior school, closed down 5-6 years ago because enrollment dropped from 1,100 to almost 400 as people aged and their children moved. So there will be more schools that will be closing, but so they are attracting foreign students, York region and others, especially from China. There are students in universities like in Canada, according to Indian consulate, 50,000 or more students from India alone in Canada studying. So the Canadian institutions are advertising both private and public universities for foreign students. So helping them to adjust here. Like one time I was called by, there were a number of students came from Saudi. They came here to learn English. So OISI, they organized a session for me to help them as a campus chaplain at University of Toronto. Guide them, say what to go, where they can buy halal eat or restaurants, go to where masajids are and so on. So all these things that we really need to set up an Ansar office to help and guide them basically. When I came here, luckily I had a one host family that moved here. That was my friend, and so I had guidance from them. But many came here unknown, they don't know anybody. And they were lost. We भी लोग आ रहे हैं who have no contact whatsoever. So if there isn't a place, I'm not saying an office, but somewhere that they can get these guidance, it is something that we can look into for the future.
So once we are looking into that, some people are going to suicidal due to distress and not managing their resources sometimes. So 500,000 people, 500,000 people, हमें क्या ज़रूरत नहीं है कि हम एक 24/7 जो है हेल्पलाइन का बंदोबस्त करें कि जो एक सेंट्रलाइज हो, कम से कम एक हमारा डाटा पूल तो हो क्या रहा है.
We can, but हमारी कम्युनिटी का जैसे मैंने before we started, so we were in an informal talk. So we have focused, like as I'm speaking for 50 years in my focus mainly on establishing masjid and madrasa. Both are needed, no doubt. Masjid zaruri hai, but we spent so much money on the masjid. And even after masjid is paid off or so on, renovations after renovations, vagara. Fundraising is always an ongoing thing. But we are not looking at other needs in the community, just say a hotline vagara.
Correct.
Suicide line. So हमारे teenagers suicide commit कर रहे हैं.
Correct.
And
तो
how
इसका मतलब यह है कि हम उस चीज को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, भाई आप सुसाइड करो, जो भी करना है करो, हमारा कोई तल्लक नहीं है. यानी जब हम उसको एड्रेस नहीं कर रहे,
we are not addressing. In fact, the whole Canada right now they start having conversation on mental health. It's a big stigma in this country and in our community as well. Mental health. जब mentioning mental health, स्कूल की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि भाई when a teacher tells the parent कि your child has a mental health has various levels. ये ज़रूरी नहीं कि everyone is crazy. तो फ़ौरन पेरेंट्स का रिएक्शन क्या होता है फ़ौरन, यू टेलिंग मी माई चाइल्ड इज़ अ क्रेजी, इज मैड? नो, there are ADHD, attention deficit syndrome, and other aspects of mental health. And I give speeches on mental health right now, because even I organize forums at school for the parents on mental health. But there are different levels you have to understand, and many don't know depressions.
नहीं तो
ये families यहाँ पर depressed हो जाती है, men, women, children, young children are getting depressed. तो ये जो है हमारे community में पहले तो उसको illness समझते ही नहीं, and we are afraid to talk about it. दूसरा हम लोग ये समझते हैं कि भाई डिप्रेशन हो जाता है, पीपल लॉस्ट देयर सेंसेस, तो समझते हैं कि भाई किसी ने जादू किया या किसी ने इसको जिन लग गया. ट्रू, देयर इज़ ऑल्सो दिस कॉन्सेप्ट हमारे दीन में भी है, बट नॉट ऑल ऑफ देम. देयर आर फिजिकल इलनेसेस दैट दे रिफ्यूज टू गो टू डॉक्टर और इवन गोइंग देयर. टॉकिंग अबाउट डॉक्टर्स, मैनी टाइम मैं आई एम अ मेंटल हेल्थ काउंसलर एज वेल. I have served as a chaplain at mental health hospital, CAMH and Whitby Mental Hospital. And हमारे लोग जब बाज़ दफ़ा फ़ोन करते हैं कि भाई मेरे पास प्रॉब्लम है, भाई कोई वजीफ़ा दे, ये करें. मैंने कहा भाई नो, यू नीड योर मेडिकल हेल्प एंड डू यू हैव अ फैमिली डॉक्टर? He says no, because walk-in clinics यहाँ sprung up in the last 30 years, so many just go to walk. क्योंकि डॉक्टर के पास जाना भी एक स्टिग्मा है हमारी कम्युनिटी में. Yeah, people are afraid to go to the doctor. So when they don't have a family doctor, they can't get referrals to go to psychiatrists.
कोई उसका रिकॉर्ड ही नहीं होगा कोई.
Yeah, you need referral to go to a specialist. यहाँ कनाडा के health rule ये है. So many don't have that family doctor. So how they can go to? And I even tell people have a family pharmacist, because doctors don't always tell you what tablet is going to produce a reaction if you are taking multiple medications. So pharmacists can guide you. That look, if you are taking this tablet, don't take the other one. Yeah. So mental health, now in University of Toronto, we have a lot of foreign students out of the, so mental health is a big issue, has been for the last 10, 15 years. The rate of suicide on campus is also increasing. So I had to tell the health and wellness office that look, how they can get a psychiatrist help. So now that they said they can go to the health and wellness or go to CAMH emergency.
Yes. डॉक्टर पटेल, मेरा आपसे एक और सवाल है.
I know I'm taking more time to.
आपकी गुफ्तगू से मुतल्लक है कि ये जो आप मेंटल हेल्थ की बात कर रहे हैं और ये जो आप साइकोलॉजिकल कॉम्प्लिकेशंस की बात कर रहे हैं, और आपने पहले जो वो हवाला दिया है, यानी हम मुसलमान बाद में हैं, हम मुसलमान बाद में हैं और हम पाकिस्तानी, इंडियन, बांग्लादेशी बाद में, क्योंकि हम ट्रस्ट नहीं करना चाहते किसी बांग्लादेशी मुसलमान पे, किसी इंडियन मुसलमान पे, अगर मैं पाकिस्तानी और सेम वाइस वर्सा. तो क्या ये मेंटल इलनेस नहीं है?
Well, I don't think it can be classified as a mental health in any medical field, but this is more or less psychological personal problem है, human instinct है कि जब strangers,
no,
खराब चीज़ नहीं, you meet a stranger, you don't know who that person is. Or as I said, we are communities. Muslim community is not one community.
नहीं, लेकिन जब हम बताते हैं सारे कि हम कैनेडियन हैं अपने मुल्कों में,
but फिर भी we still fall back on our own ethnicity and nationality.
तो क्या ये शो ऑफ नहीं है जो हमें?
Well, it is show off, समझो यार, हमारे this is part of our upbringing. हम लोग जहाँ से आए हैं कि भाई we are come with that sort of identity. कि भाई we are Muslim, we are Pakistani at the same time, we are Bangladeshi, we are Pakistani at the same, we are Indian or Egyptian, Saudi, जो भी समझो. तो ये जो हैं, they look at their own people to trust, but यहाँ पर मुसलमानों को, as I said, the trust has been lost from a number of reasons. एक तो ये है कि भाई they are stranger to one another.
No, individuals ने अपना trust lose किया.
Yeah, but
और वो इस पे उन्होंने अपने बेस की कि भाई हमने ट्रस्ट पैदा नहीं करना, हमने ट्रस्ट लूज करना है और डिसट्रस्ट की हमने ब्रीच करनी है. क्योंकि अगर आपको ट्रस्ट नहीं है, आप लुट गए हैं, तो भाई आप तो एक्सपीरियंस्ड हो गए, तो आप आगे बढ़ें, आप लोगों को बचाएं कि भाई डिसट्रस्ट ये होता है और ट्रस्ट ये होता है.
There is a trust among certain segment of the community. जैसे लोग अगर एक इलाके से, जैसे पंजाब से आए, if it's some from one part of the province, so they know each other and they can trust one another.
नहीं तो जो मैं पंजाबी हूँ, तो अगर मैं आपको ये लिख कर दे दूं कि कोई बंदा मेरे ऊपर ट्रस्ट करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, तो फिर इसका क्या जवाब देंगे आप?
कुछ मेरे पास तो इसका कोई जवाब नहीं है, क्योंकि दिस इज एन इंडिविजुअल
और
थिंग,
नहीं,
इंडिविजुअल प्रेरोगेटिव।
और मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ ना, मैं एक्सप्रेस कर रहा हूँ।
या बट
ये जो लोग नहीं बोल रहे हैं ना,
हाँ,
जो एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर सकते,
राइट,
अगर उनकी हालत मेरे से भी ज्यादा खराब निकले तो उसका भी कोई जवाब आपको देना पड़ेगा।
it's not an easy, there's no one answer.